if you follow me, my life, or if you follow this podcast, or if you follow me in social, a lot took place that had me question, I would say, my ability to discern fully and, how should I put this, and just maneuver. I'm a very trusting person naturally, but I had to err on the caution of, you're going to have to earn my trust. You're going to have to be around for some time to be proven. This is another arm of the Fearless brand, just living my life out fearlessly. Hey there, I'm Arian Simone, the CEO and founder of the Fearless Fund, and a woman who believes in living a fearless lifestyle. Through this podcast, you'll get to hear stories of the time I've spent in Africa, being crowned as an Ivorian queen, fighting a battle that can affect millions, but also the stories of our special guests who are living legendary. It's time to tune in to the Fearlessly Living podcast. You guys are tuning in to another podcast episode of Fearlessly Living with Arian Simone. If you are enjoying this podcast and this experience, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. You know what? How many podcasts you all produce? Does everybody remember to say all that each time?
You said how many do I want to produce?
No. Do you produce? Do you see how I remember on cue to say it?
Yeah, for the most, once they get in the flow, but sometimes it takes.
See, I'm a professional. Okie dokie, y'all. This is a Q&A episode. You guys are listening to questions that have been posed to me on social media and even by the team. So we're going to get into it. They have segmented my Q&As to be category specific. Some are about business. Some are about being a queen. And some are about my personal life. So go ahead. What are the questions, Mia?
First one is, how have you been?
Oh, how have I been? I like that first. I want to thank the person who posed the question just to even thank you for being considerate about my emotional state. Overall, I have been well, and I have been fine because I have a great support system. I would be lying if I hadn't said that 2023 brought about like a lot of the most trying season of my life, really. Like one of, I would say. But definitely just like at a different level. Definitely at a different level. But in 2024, I definitely feel loved and supported. Not that I didn't in 23. I had to get adjusted to the altitude. I had to learn to respond and not just react. And not that I've ever like overreacted, but just take things as they come and process and keep it moving. But as far as how was it, am I or how have I been? Have I been? So that's a good of how have I been. But how I am in this moment, I am blessed and just delightful. But if I were to, I would be painting a false narrative if I were to tell you that I have not experienced just trying times that took place last year, which are obvious. If you follow me, my life, or if you follow this podcast, or if you follow me in social, a lot took place that had me question, I would say, my ability to discern fully and, how should I put this, and just maneuver. I'm a very trusting person naturally, but I had to err on the caution of, you're going to have to earn my trust. You're going to have to be around for some time to be proven. And I am like optimistic Olivia, positive Patty, amazing Arian. Like I am that like extra positive, high energy kind of person. But life experiences have taught me that at times it is going to yield greater dividends if you learn when and where to proceed with caution. But I've been well.
So that brings us into our next question. We spoke about 2023 and how things have happened. So, how are you preparing for your case?
How am I preparing for this lawsuit? Well, first and foremost, the lawyers are preparing for the case. I am an active, I guess you would say, defendant. I read through the briefs, line by line. I'll take out like a weekend to go through everything to see what's going on, because it's my life and my livelihood. But preparing, I would say I'm more so mentally preparing and just surrounding myself with great energy and great people, great counsel, great strategists. But as far as the preparing for the actual paperwork, that is definitely in the hands of the amazing counsel that we have. I know you are enjoying this episode. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Now back to the episode.
Absolutely. What's your favorite self-help book?
Oh, my favorite self-help book, The Game of Life and How to Play It by Florence Scovel Shinn. I would say that one is. It's the first one that came to mind. I am a self-help book junkie, though. So I get up in the morning and I'm reading self-help books. I am a self-help book junkie, but because that one came to me first, that's the unction of which I wanted to speak from and give. But there are so many out there. Right now, when I get up in the morning, I'm reading this book. Oh gosh, is it The Joy of You? I'm trying to remember the exact title. It's a meditation book, and every morning you have writings from Agape, it's her name, and she has meditation practices in this book. And I picked it up in my sister's place in Brooklyn. She was in temporary housing before she moved to her place in Brooklyn. She works for Google. And I was like, oh, this is interesting, but it was so much heavy revelation in it. I was like, I'm gonna order this book. And I'll read it in the morning, just right after I've read my scriptures and prayed. And I'm like, I like this as a jump start in the day.
So tell us more about your morning routine.
My morning routine, I actually wrote a book about my morning routine. It is called Fearless Faith and Hustle, because faith plus works is alive, okay? And in Fearless Faith and Hustle, I give people tips on what a morning routine for me looks like. There's scriptures in there, there's prayer in there, there's meditation in there, there's declarations and affirmations that you say to declare over your life. There are, because I still get up in the mirror and I say all these amazing things. Like the producer over here to my left, she said, oh, she in love with Arian. Yes, I am. So I definitely believe in having a morning routine that keeps me centered. I don't punish myself if I miss my morning routine. I don't get upset if it's altered. I go with the flow on it, but I definitely start my day off from a place of being centered. I do not have emails come to my phone. A lot of people, they start their day, they check their phone, going through emails and all that. That's just not me. I stopped getting emails to my phone in 2009. I don't get them to my phone. When I go to the computer, I sit at the computer and I work at the computer. I do not do that at all. And when I'm not on the computer, I don't get emails to my phone. So it just helps with my sanity. I made a conscious decision of that after running a PR and marketing business, and people were always hitting you. I did primarily, our clients were primarily film studios, but outside of that for a few years, I did do PR and marketing for music artists. I represented Chris Brown, Lil Wayne, Akon, Neo. So you're talking about 2006 to 2009 almost. And this is when these people are like at a very big height of hip hop A-list celebrities. making a mark in this world. You're talking about massive impact, massive energy. Some of these people are going to work around 3 o'clock and staying up all night. So my phone was just going off constantly. And I remember getting up in my condo in LA one day saying, I ain't going to live like this. I said, I can continue to service you, but I'm not going to be responding at these hours. And to avoid that completely, I got emails off my phone, and they've been off my phone ever since. So you are looking at about 15 years being email free from the phone. So I would contribute that to part of why my morning routine is very centered.
Our next question is, are you single?
That is nobody's business. That is nobody's business. But if you can take context clues of anything you may have heard probably on another podcast episode, that will probably give you the answer.
What are your goals for 2024?
My goals for 2024, we are in 2024, but people ask that. And as of recent, I would say, I think it was Bishop Jakes and Pastor Torrey who I heard say about looking at your life in decades versus years. And I heard it a couple years ago, and it really imprinted on my heart. Because when you look at your life in spans of decades, you also give yourself a little bit more grace. And you don't put pressure on yourself, but you still have focus and direction. When I did that a few years back and I started looking at it in that way of a decade versus each year, I actually got more accomplished. And I've seen how my life has changed in the last 5 years, just elevation after elevation, glory to glory, just quick and fast. And I do attribute it to somewhat of that mindset. Because when your hand is on something like this, and I even talk about that, I think in like Fearless Faith and Hustle, you are in so much control of your life that you're not allowing God to take control and do his part. Because you're telling God, I got it, I got it, I got it, I got it. He's not forceful. You're going to be like, you got it, you got it, you got it, you got it. And I like to say, give room for God to perform miracles. Because if you're doing like this constantly and your hand is always on it, you are telling God to order the universe in a way of, well, she doesn't need much support. She's figuring it out herself. But when you come into a mindset of just surrendering, and this is where faith plus works is alive, where God does his part and you do your part. And I'm talking about to be able to partner with the creator and be in co-creation like that. That's where the magic happens. That's where it's just like, blow my mind, God. Just blow my mind. You guys, we have a Fearlessly Living community that is for members only. This is for people who are looking to be their best and highest selves. They are looking to take over their industry, take over the world, be a world changer, a disruptor. This is your tribe. This is your community. There will be so many different wellness tips that will put you in the best space ever, spiritually, emotionally, physically, financially. You want to be a part of this community. Do not miss out on this. Check out the benefits on my website and join me there. Now back to the episode.
Another question is, what is the legacy that you want to leave behind?
What is the legacy I want to leave behind? A legacy of love, a legacy of generosity, a legacy of what is possible. A legacy of making a positive impact for people, a legacy of leaving this world a better place than when you found it. I think all of those things are important. You ain't looking. Oh, now I see, you're right. You got it open. Those are the people. And you can say any of the crazy stuff. What's the next one say? Is it in French? Oh, if it's in French, just go to the next because I don't have it in front of me.
how can I work with you to support startups and entrepreneurs in Africa?
I love that. And for those watching, hopefully by now that if you're listening and you're in a francophone country, that there's subtitles below here so that you can translate this. Because I told you that I was gonna have an international audience. We got. Hopefully that they're on. If tout pour français, hopefully it's down there. You speak French, hopefully it's there. How can you help me support startups in Africa?
How can I work with you to support startups and entrepreneurs in Africa?
Well, if you're in Africa, one, submit an email through my website, ariansimone.com. I love this question, though, because one, I want to know if you're there, because if you are there, I need help scouting talent there. I have said it for about a year now, I need some African scouts. So if you are there and you can scout the talent, so in the U.S. we have what you call scouting programs if you're in venture capital. And these are people who go out and they help find what the next investment is, and they get a percentage of carry on that investment. So for the sake of this discussion, carry is not commission, but for anybody who knows what commission is, it's extremely similar. So if you just view that as more like commission, you can get basically the analogy. They are going to get a percent off of the return on that deal if that deal is successful for going out to scout it. So being a scout. Now that was more of a business question, but I'm here for it.
Another person asked.
Am I married? It's okay. It's okay. They can keep asking. If they're trying to shoot their shot in the DM, let them shoot their shot. Just know I'm marrying a king.
Someone asked,
Do you know of any other funding sources for an up-and-coming entrepreneur?
Girl, you done went back to business, but it's okay. Funding sources. Yeah, there are plenty. I have even a girlfriend of mine who is building a platform. I hope I'm pronouncing it right, Jacqueline, called Cherub, CHERUB. And it's a platform that's connecting funders and founders. So you can go on there to meet angel investors and see who has basically a thesis that invests in what it is that you're building. And I'm gonna have to save that like for another show. I'll do a whole VC show to kind of like break all that down, because I don't want to just leave you with something that's just not, I guess you would say, extractable or easy to digest. I want you to have clear-cut steps on what all that kind of like looks like.
And the last question is, what's your favorite holiday?
Christmas is the first that came to mind, so that's why it came out my mouth. So I'm going to say Christmas. I'm going to say Jesus' birthday. Holidays for me are about the fellowship. My love language, even outside of an intimate relationship, my love language, I think universally, it's just my universal love language, I would just say, is quality time. Like, I love spending real time, having real conversation, having just vulnerable discussion, good fellowship, good laughing time. Like, oh my gosh, I love a good quality time. So for me, it's never been about, a lot of gifts or anything. And don't get me wrong, I think gifts is on the love language list to still be ranking in the high of those five love languages. I love gifts. I do believe that giving gifts is a big way that I do express love. But quality time, oh my gosh. We get that through the holidays. And I get a lot of that, I guess you would say, around Christmas, where people have that dedicated time, just even due to the fact that you're off work so long. Yeah, quality time. Well, you guys, if you have enjoyed this episode, be sure to do me a personal favor. Like, comment, and subscribe. If you are interested in our community, be sure to go to ariansimone.com and join us or join the wait list. I love you all so much. Stay tuned to next time.